I feel amazing. I mean, I'm very weak, but I feel amazing.
Tell us what was wrong with you, George.
I got streptococcus something. It's a form of pneumonia, and they spent 3 weeks keeping me alive, basically.
Talk us through those 3 weeks. They must have been very difficult.
I don't want to take you through all of it because some of it I want to protect my family from, and I'm sure I'll get it all written down. But it was basically by far the worst month of my life. But I'm incredibly fortunate to be here, and incredibly fortunate to have picked up this bug where I did, because apparently the hospital in Austria that they rushed me to was absolutely the best place in the world I could have been to deal with pneumonia. So I have to believe that somebody thinks I've still got some work to do here, you know.
What kept you going, George?
My family, the thought of all the people I still had to play to, the fact that I'd been so lucky, and the fact that I still have plenty to live for. I have an amazing life, and if I wasn't spiritual enough before the last 4 or 5 weeks, then I certainly am now.
How would you describe it?
Well, I'd say touch and go for a couple of weeks. And we played it down. I didn't want to worry my fans too much. And I'm really sorry that I couldn't contact them in any way before now, but I was really not in any state to. But I promised them, absolutely, without question, the plan is to play to every single person who had a ticket. And also, actually, I would like to play one other show for the doctors in the hospital in Austria that saved my life, because I spent the last 10 days since I woke up literally thanking people for saving my life, which is something I've never had to do before, never want to have to do again. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, thank everybody who sent messages and everybody in that ICU unit that made sure that I'm still here today. I really can't say any more because I'm trying to get over the tracheotomy, so.
Well, reporter Mark Stone outside the singer's home in Hampstead, North London for us this afternoon. You were there when he was speaking. What was your impression of his health and his recovery indeed as well, Mark?
Yeah, emotional stuff, I thought there. Certainly at the end, Kay, he was very emotional. I thought he looked physically not too bad. He was limping a bit. He was walking slowly. He's clearly weak, but he wasn't particularly pale. He did suffer, though, from a shortage of breath, and I think that's probably, as he explained, as a result of some of the procedures that he's had to go through. He was very ill, touch and go at one point. What he was actually suffering from, we're told, is a form of pneumonia that's called Streptococcus pneumoniae. He struggled to pronounce that. He wasn't quite clear about what it was that he had, but certainly there had been all sorts of speculation about why he might have been ill, unhelpful speculation. I think it was very clear from him and from his people who we spoke to just before he came out that they wanted finally to be able to allow him to come out. He wanted to be able to come out and explain exactly how ill he'd been, and of course how much better he is now, and how he hopes to continue to improve and go and continue with that tour that he had to cut short over a month ago. So I think that was the emphasis there. They wanted to say how much better he was. He wanted to say how much better he was, and so he only arrived at his house here probably before he in a black Range Rover.
Back to Mark in just a moment. Lucy Cotter joining us now, our showbiz correspondent, of course. Lucy, we knew nothing of this really, did we, while he was in hospital, 5 weeks, and we heard very little?
That's right. He was put into hospital 5 weeks ago in Vienna in the middle of his tour, and we heard very little. We had a statement from his management early on saying that he was suffering from pneumonia, and then there were tweets from his boyfriend saying over the 5-week period that he was getting better, but very, very little information. And George Michael himself in that press conference said that he'd played down his illness for the sake of his fans, and he'd given them very little information because his fans are incredibly important to George Michael, and there's already been an outpouring over the internet and on Twitter from those fans saying how relieved they are that he has got better. And during that very emotional press conference, I mean, his throat broke at one point because he was obviously so overwhelmed when he was talking about the doctors who'd saved his life and the fact that he'd spent the last 10 days thanking people for saving his life. And he said he never ever wanted to go through that again. And he said he wanted to play a concert to those doctors, as well as make sure that he played to every single fan who'd bought a ticket to see him play. And he talked about how it had been not only his fans, but his family who'd kept him going through those 5 weeks. And he said, they spent 3 weeks keeping me alive. It was by far the worst month of my life. It had been touch and go. And he went on to say that he'd had an amazing life. He has got an amazing life. And that if he hadn't been spiritual enough before, he certainly was now. And that this experience has changed him. He said that he will be writing his experiences down. Maybe we'll see that in his records, and there may even be a biography out later on, maybe next year. But all along he stressed that he wanted to give this press conference for his fans to make sure that they all realised that he was recovering, because it's been very worrying and there have been a lot of rumours. No one knew what was going on, but today he has confirmed that he is recovering from pneumonia.
He said that he will go on tour again. He will fulfil all of those concerts that he had to cancel. But looking at the state of his health today, that's going to be a while away, isn't it?
Well, you would expect that doctors will have said to George Michael that he can't rush things. He was smiling, he was looking in reasonable health, very emotional and also very breathless. So you would hope that doctors will have given him the right advice not to rush his recovery. But he also stressed during that press conference that he couldn't have been in a better place when he caught this bug, and that Vienna has some of the best doctors and the best care for this condition in the world. So I suspect we won't be seeing anything in the next few months from him, but he said now that he does want to play for his fans, so I would expect another announcement in the next year when that will be.
OK, thanks very much indeed. Thanks a lot.